The arena fight was over. But Princess Vera couldn't stop thinking about it. She had challenged the human soldier, thinking it would be an easy lesson. She had mocked his armor, expecting weakness underneath. But when he removed the armor and fought with nothing but skill and control, he didn't just defend himself, he made her question everything. In the quiet of her personal chamber, Freya stared at the replay hologram of the match. She watched it again and again. Jason Holt, the human soldier, had moved like a shadow, silent, quick and calm. No fancy tricks, no hidden weapons, just him, and somehow, that had shaken her more than anything else. Outside the palace, the city buzzed with excitement. News about the match was everywhere on glowing signs, buzzing holodrones, and spoken by traders in crowded streets. Alien commentators debated every second of the fight. The princess was fast, but the human was in full control. He removed his armor to honor her ways. That was bold. Humans may be more dangerous than we thought. Inside the Earth Delegation Center, Jason sat with his squad. Some clapped him on the back. Others shook their heads, still shocked by what he had done. "Man, you really took the armor off?" Private Lynn asked. "Why died?" Jason shrugged. "She challenged me, not the suit, but that was risky," Lieutenant Kim said. "If she had landed a real hit, she didn't," Jason replied. "I trusted myself, and I wanted her too." "See that we're not just machines?" There was silence for a moment. Then Lynn smirked. "Well, you made an impression." That evening, a royal messenger arrived at the human quarters. He bowed low and handed Jason a small glowing orb. "A message from Princess Virea. She invites you to the Hall of Trials tomorrow morning." Jason looked surprised. "The training hall?" "Yes," the messenger said. "She wishes to speak and train." The next day, Jason entered the Hall of Trials. It was a wide stone chamber filled with weapon racks, soft floor mats, and old statues of past Zalari champions. High windows let in beams of golden light, smelled of incense and ancient wood. Virea stood in the center, dressed in training robes, simple, dark, and elegant. "I'm glad you came," she said. Jason bowed politely. "You asked, I listened." Vera gave a small smile. "I was wrong about you, Jason Holt. I saw your armor and thought you were weak without it. But now I understand. The strength is not in the machine. It is in the person." Jason nodded. "Now I was careful not to embarrass you in the arena." She tilted her head. "You could have won more easily, couldn't you?" "I wasn't there to win," Jason said. "I was there to show you what's under the armor." For the first time, Vera laughed softly. "Then show me more." She tossed him a wooden training staff. Jason caught it smoothly. "What are the rules?" he asked. "No armor, no tricks, just you and me." They began to spar, not with anger, but with purpose. Their movements were quick and clean. Rhea used her speed. Jason used his balance. They were both focused, not on defeating, but learning. Vera changed forms mid-match, testing him with different styles. Jason adapted quickly. He didn't copy her, he responded with his own methods, trained on Earth battlefields and combat. Hours passed, sweat shined on their skin. Breathing grew heavy, but neither wanted to stop. Finally, Vera called for a break. They sat side by side on the edge of the hall, sipping cold mineral water. "I thought humans were loud and messy," she said. Jason smiled. "We are sometimes, but you fight like a monk." "I had good teachers." She looked at him. "Do all human soldiers fight like you?" Jason shook his head. "No, I'm just one of many. Some are stronger, some are smarter. On tech, but we all train hard." "Why?" "Because we came late to the galaxy. Earth was behind. We didn't grow with space travel like your people. We had to catch up fast, so we worked harder." Virea was silent for a moment. Then she whispered, "I envy that." Jason looked at her, surprised. "Why?" "Because I was born royal. Everything was given to me. I trained because it was expected. But you trained because you wanted to be strong." Jason thought for a moment. Then he said, Maybe strength isn't just about training. Maybe it's about what you fight for. Rhea looked at him, her eyes softer now. And what do you fight for? Jason Holt, he replied simply. Peace. And to protect the people who can't protect themselves. Later that day, Virea invited Jason to join her elite guards in their morning practice. The guards were not pleased. He is not Zelari, one whispered. He is unarmed, another scoffed. But Virea silenced them with one look. He is our guest, and today he is your equal. Jason trained beside them, matching their moves. Some guards tried to test him, pushing harder, striking faster, but Jason never faltered, blocked, dodged, even countered, with such calm that soon the guards began to respect him. At the end of practice, one of the senior warriors approached him. You move like stone, but strike like wind. We did not expect this. Jason nodded. Thank you, another added. You do not wear armor. But now we see you do not need it. Virea watched from a distance. She said nothing, but inside, she felt something strange, a growing respect. Not just for Jason's skill, but for his character. Later that evening, the two walked through the palace gardens. The trees glowed faintly, and the flowers opened. Under the moonlight, Virea spoke first. Today, you changed how many Zelaris think of humans. Jason looked at her. I didn't come to impress anyone. I just wanted to show we're not what they imagine. She smiled. You did more than that. They paused near a fountain. Water shimmered in the moonlight. Virea turned to him. You are unlike any warrior I have met. Strong, but humble. Gone, but fierce. My people will speak of you for a long time. Jason looked at her with steady eyes. And what will you say about me? She took a moment, then whispered that the man who removed his armor removed my pride too. Jason gave a small laugh. Then maybe we both learned something. Far above them, in the deep halls of the galactic station, not all watched. With kindness, dark figure recorded their training sessions from hidden cameras. His eyes narrowed. A human earning the princess's trust, he muttered. This could ruin everything. He turned to his communicator. Prepare the plan. We may need to strike sooner than expected. The stars above Zelvar Prime sparkled like scattered diamonds. But inside the royal palace, Princess Virez's mind was busy. She lay awake in her chambers, the ceiling above her glowing gently with soft blue light. Calm, they spun in circles. All about the same subject, Jason Holt, the human, the one who had removed his armor. Fought her with kindness and strength, and walked beside her like an equal. No fear, no pride. Just quiet confidence. Virea had met many warriors from across the galaxy. Some were loud, some were clever, and others were fierce. But Jason, he was something else. He was real. The next morning, Virea walked into the Hall of Voices. Her father, Emperor Rinthus, held court. Alien ambassadors stood in a wide circle, speaking of politics, trade routes, military patrols. Virea took her place beside him. When it was her turn to speak, she stood tall and clear. It's my people, I ask that we begin formal talks with Earth's leadership. We have misunderstood them. I believe we have much to learn from the humans. There was a pause. Then quiet murmurs filled the room. Humans are new, said one elder. Their ways are not like ours. They hide behind metal and machines, said another. Vera raised a hand.
That is no longer true.
I fought one of their soldiers without armor. His skill humbled me. Strength came not from tools, but from his spirit. The emperor looked at his daughter with interest. You speak highly of him. I do, Vera said. His name is Jason Holt, and I request that he remain. As a guest of the royal family, I will take personal responsibility for him. The room grew silent again. Then Emperor Rinthus nodded. Very well, but we will watch him closely. Jason was surprised when a royal escort came to his room. You were to move to the palace, the officer told him. By order of the princess? Jason blinked. Wait, what? Minutes later, he stood in the grand halls of the royal palace, carrying only a small bag. He felt strange walking through such a place without his squad. Viraya met him at the inner gate. Wearing her formal robe and a slight smile, "You didn't have to do this," Jason said. "I wanted to," she replied. "You're not just a guest anymore. You're a symbol now of something new." The days that followed were filled with learning. Viraya took Jason to ancient libraries, where glowing scrolls floated in midair. She introduced him to Zalari elders, philosophers, and teachers. Jason listened more than he spoke. He asked honest questions. He learned their history, their fears, and their pride. In return, Jason taught Viraya Earthways, how humans trained their minds and bodies, how they survived under pressure, how they valued life even in dark times. They sparred every morning. They walked the gardens in the evening. They laughed together. Whispers spread. The princess walks with the human again. Is it just training or more? But not everyone was pleased. Far across the palace, in the secret chamber of Lord Malric, whispers turned to plots. "This human is a threat," Malric told his followers. "He makes the princess question her path. He weakens her loyalty." "Could discredit him?" one voice said. "No," Malric replied. "He must be removed, but not by our hands." He smiled darkly. "Let the galaxy see him as a danger." The next day, Jason joined a council meeting in the Great Hall. For the first time, humans sat among the Zellary War Council. Vera introduced him. "Jason Holt, of Earth. He comes not to lead, but to share knowledge." Jason bowed politely. The meeting began with quiet respect, till a sudden alert flashed on the wall. A messenger rushed in. "Pirates are attacking a trade vessel near the outer moon," Viraya stood. "Send a defense squad immediately." Jason looked at the screen. His eyes narrowed. "That's not a normal pirate pattern," he said. "Look at the way they jammed. The signal. That's military tech. Someone wants it to look like pirates." The room turned to him. "You think it's a trap?" Vera asked. Jason nodded. "Yes. And if we send a full squad, they might ambush it. But if we send a small team fast, we could get there first and stop it." The Emperor looked at him. "Would you go?" Jason answered, "Yes, but I'll need one partner." Viraya didn't hesitate. "I'll go with him." Their ship raced through space, heading for the outer moon. Inside the small cockpit, Viraya looked at Jason. "Are you sure it's not pirates?" Jason nodded. "It's too clean. Pirates don't block signals like that. Someone wants to frame this." As they approached, they saw the burning ship, a cargo vessel. A strange black ship hovered nearby. "It's not a pirate ship," Jason said. "That's a stealth warship. Zalari design." Viraya stared. "Impossible. Only our military uses those." Jason looked at her. "Someone inside your own forces did this. They docked with the cargo vessel and moved inside." Smoke filled the halls. Jason led the way, moving carefully, his weapon ready. They found the crew injured, but alive. Viraya rushed to help them. One of them whispered, "It was a trap. They knew we'd come." Suddenly behind them, energy shots fired. A group of masked soldiers attacked from the shadows. Jason grabbed Vera and rolled behind a wall. "It's an ambush," he shouted. Viraya pulled her blade. "Let's finish this." Together, they fought side by side. Jason used cover and precision. Viraya moved like lightning, blade flashing. It protected the crew and pushed back the attackers. One enemy dropped. A strange black device. Jason picked it up. It had a Royal Crest Solari military grade. "They wanted to start a war," Jason said. "Blame Earth. Destroy the Alliance." Viraya looked at the symbol. They almost did. When they returned to the palace, they presented the device to Emperor Rinthus. "This proves it was no pirate attack," Jason said. "It was a false flag operation." The Emperor's face was stone. "Find the one responsible. Immediately." Turned to Vera. "Someone doesn't want us to work together." She looked at him with fierce eyes. "We'll make them fear unity even more." That night, as the moonlight bathed the palace gardens, Viraya and Jason walked again. "You saved me," she said quietly. You saved me first, he replied. She smiled. I thought I understood strength, but now I see. Strength also means trust. Jason looked at her. Do you trust me now? Vera nodded. With my life. Far away, in the dark chamber of Lord Malric, a fist slammed the table. They survived, he hissed, and now they're even closer. A hooded figure stepped forward. What now? Malric's eyes burned with hate. We move to the final phase. This time, we strike where they least expect it. He stared at the glowing image of Jason and Virea side by side. The human must fall, and the princess must break. The night was quiet on Zelver Prime, but the calm was only on the surface. Deep in the palace, shadows moved. In a hidden chamber, Lord Malric watched the glowing hologram of Princess Virea and the human soldier. Jason Holt. They grow stronger, Malric hissed. Their alliance is dangerous. We must act now. The next day began like any other, with the palace filled with nobles, guards, and servants. But tension hung heavy in the air. Virea sat in the royal council chamber. The leaders of many alien worlds had gathered to discuss peace treaties and trade agreements. Jason was there too, seated quietly beside her. Suddenly, alarms blared. Attack! Shouted a guard rushing in. Vera's eyes widened. What is happening? The doors burst open. Masked soldiers poured into the room, weapons drawn. Jason sprang up. Get behind me, shouted. He grabbed Vera's arm and pulled her to cover. Chaos erupted. The council members scrambled for safety. Guards fought fiercely, but were outnumbered. Jason and Vera moved through the chaos together. This is no simple raid, Jason said. It's an assassination attempt. Vereza's heart pounded. They want to kill me. Jason nodded, and me too. They dodged laser blasts and rushing enemies. Jason's training showed. He moved swiftly, guiding Virea behind thick pillars and fallen furniture. At one point, a soldier aimed directly at Vera. Without hesitation, Jason pushed her aside and caught the blast with his forearm. He grunted but stayed standing. Are you okay? Vera asked, breathless. Jason nodded. It's nothing. They reached the back exit, only to find it blocked by more attackers. Jason's eyes scanned the area. There's a secret passage here, he said. Follow me. He pressed a hidden panel, and a door slid open, revealing a narrow corridor. Vera took his hand, trusting him completely. Together, they ran through the passage, the sounds of battle fading behind them, outside. The palace grounds were a war zone. Ships hovered overhead. Firing down on soldiers below, Virea saw children and civilians running for cover. Jason pulled her into a small grove of glowing trees. We need to get to the emergency beacon, he said. Virea nodded. Can you protect me? Jason smiled. That's the plan. As they moved toward the beacon, an explosion nearby shook the ground. Virea stumbled, but Jason caught her. We're close, he said. Suddenly, a group of masked fighters appeared. Jason drew his weapon. Vera pulled out her energy blade. Together, they fought side by side. Jason blocked an enemy's strike, then disarmed him with a quick move. Virea's blade flashed, forcing others back. They pushed forward, each protecting the other. Reaching the beacon, Jason activated it. A message blasted out across the galaxy. Emergency. Palace under attack. Immediate aid required. Minutes later, reinforcements arrived: Zelare warriors and Earth soldiers. The attackers were pushed back and defeated. Back inside the palace, Virea looked at Jason with deep gratitude. You saved my life. Jason shook his head. We saved each other. Her eyes shone. You are more than a soldier. You are a true warrior. Jason smiled softly. And you are a true leader. In the days after the attack, the palace began to recover. The people of Zelare saw the human in a new light, not just a foreign soldier, but a hero. Viera and Jason grew closer. Their friendship deepened into trust, but the threat was not gone. Lord Malric watched from his dark corner, plotting his next move. The palace of Zelvar Prime was alive with light and sound. Crowds gathered in the grand hall to celebrate the victory over the recent attack. Leaders, warriors, and citizens from many worlds had come to honor those who had defended peace. At the center of attention stood Princess Vera and Corporal Jason Holt. They had become symbols not just of strength, but of unity between two very different worlds. The ceremony began with the Emperor Rinthos rising to speak. His voice echoed through the hall. Today we honor courage. We honor those who stood strong against those who wished to divide us. He paused, then looked directly at Jason. Corporal Holt, you came without armor, yet you showed us what true strength means. Jason stepped forward, bowing deeply. The crowd erupted in cheers. Virea smiled warmly. She stepped beside Jason and spoke. I once thought strength came only from power and pride, but I was wrong. Strength comes from respect, trust, and the courage to be yourself. She reached into her robe and pulled out a shining blade. Its design was ancient but elegant, the mark of a Zalari warrior. Jason Holt, I offer you this blade, the symbol of our respect and trust. Jason looked at the blade, then at Viraya. His eyes softened. I accept with honor. The princess smiled, and the crowd applauded. After the ceremony, the two walked outside into the peaceful gardens. The moon cast silver light on the trees, and the soft breeze carried the scent of flowers. Jason looked at Vera. Do you think your people will accept me? She laughed softly. They already have. Your actions speak louder than words. Smiled. I never thought I'd find a place so far from Earth where I could belong. Vera took his hand. You belong wherever you are, true. Days passed, and the alliance between Earth and the Zalari Empire grew stronger. Trade agreements were signed. Cultural exchanges began. Together, they planned for a future of peace. Virea and Jason trained together every day. Their bond was no longer just friendship. It was partnership. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the city, Vera spoke quietly. Jason, will you stay with us? Not as a visitor, but as part of our people? Jason looked at her. Surprised? I never expected this. She smiled, her eyes bright. I do. Jason nodded. Then I will stay. For the future, we can build together. Far away, Lord Malric's plans had failed. His power was broken, and his followers scattered. The darkness that threatened the alliance was gone. The story of the human, who removed his armor and stunned. An alien princess became a legend, told across the galaxy a story of courage, respect, and the power of unity. And as the stars shone, above Zelvar Prime, a new chapter began, one where differences were strength and friendship could change worlds.